Happy New Year, everybody, and welcome to our podcast.
First podcast of the new year. Higgins, how do you feel?
I feel great. Is that a Justin Bieber t-shirt?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Higgins, I'd hope you noticed, all right? I've already got a compliment from Steve on it while you were
really
gone,
good.
picking up the ingredients for this drink, so thank you. But yes, in case anyone's wondering, I am wearing a Justin Bieber t-shirt.
I can take a picture of that closer up so you guys can see.
I think you should.
Yeah.
And we'll get the drink in there a little bit too, so it's still relevant. But yeah, but before we do all that, we should probably play a little theme music.
I kind of get the lemon in there, too. Spoilers.
Multi-layered, Higgins. Welcome, everyone, to 2023. Woo! And the Comicsology Club. Yeah, Higgins, it's a show where you and I, Snoop Lynch and Higgins Sturm.
That's me.
Yes.
Sorry, guys. Hey, that's me.
Don't slip up, all right? We're just starting out. Anyway, it's a show where the two of us, we get together, we drink together, but more importantly, we read together.
Can you put, little, the little party horn noises, after you say, welcome to 2023?
Oh, like
or after the comic, either one, after one of those, woo, and then, the ones that stick out and make the tongue kind of thing.
I could just take what you did just now, that woo, and I can just put that in
and just layer my voice over the top of itself so it sounds like there's at least 3 people there.
I think I've got enough to work with it. Yeah.
All right. Do you need some more samples?
Give me one more sample.
Woo-hoo.
Oh, that'd be good. You take a slide whistle and you put it too? All right. No, I like that. I'll let it be a surprise when the episode comes out for
That's
you.
That's good.
All right.
I always listen.
Good. That makes one person. Higgins, I'm happy to be back. First podcast of the new year. It's going to be a good year, I think.
Yeah, and we already haven't missed one yet.
I didn't think of it that way. That's very positive, Higgins.
Yeah.
You know what else would be good? If we told the people what we were going to talk about today.
Oh, yeah. I can do that. I picked the book for this week. Mm-hmm. We're not reading it. We already did that.
I'm not reading it right now.
We picked Radiant Black, or I picked Radiant Black, by Kyle Higgins and Marcelo Costa.
Yeah.
And Becca Carey, apparently.
Yes, Becca Carey did letters, yes. And then Kyle Higgins, as you said. Now, Higgins, did you pick this book because your brother, Kyle Higgins, since you both share the same name, you're related? Is that why you picked this? Is this nepotism, Higgins?
I didn't pick it, but I wasn't gonna stop picking it once I saw that.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
it's kind of like how I picked it off of Amazon, where I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. And I didn't read anything about it.
It leads to good things. I mean, that book we talked about last year, at the end of last year, I really liked it.
Yeah.
And this book was a book that I read.
Yeah, it was fine.
Not to throw too much shade on Kyle Higgins. He's no slouch when it comes to comics. He's been working in the industry. He actually wrote, there is a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series that was done by Boom!
Oh, man. You're going to get everybody with that one.
I'm really trying. But yes, so they did that, and he was the writer on that. That actually makes a lot of sense when you go into this story. I see a lot of similarities between Power Rangers.
It is kind of Power Rangers.
Mm-hmm. And, he worked on that book with?
Marcelo Costa.
Exactly. So he's bringing him over for this.
They kind of, look like Power Rangers, too.
Yes, yeah. That's probably one of the good things I have to say about this. Not that I hate this, but there's not much in this for me personally. This is from Image. This was published pretty recently. It started back in, I want to say, February of 2021. And we read the first 6 issues. So issue 6 came out in July of 2021. That's the first volume. What's that first volume called again?
Not So Secret Origin.
That's right. And
that makes sense because
everybody knows the secret.
Everybody knows who he is somehow.
Yeah, very quickly.
Even people that he's never met before.
Mm-hmm. Now, I did dig up some interesting information about this, but first I want to go into a little synopsis of the story, if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's your jam.
I love doing synopses, yes. So, Higgins, I'm going to take you to a world where Nathan Burnett has just turned 30, which we can relate. We're about to turn 30 in 10 years.
Well, yeah, or 7 or a couple months ago. I don't know.
Who's to say? But nevertheless, Nathan has turned 30, and he's down on his luck, Higgins. Things aren't great. He's working, and he's failing at working. He wants to be a writer. He wants to bring home that big book and have his name on it, and it make bigger dollars, but
Bigger dollars.
it's not happening. He's got to move home because he blew it. He blew his chances.
He blew it by a lot. Like, he's in big boy debt.
Yeah, how much debt you got there?
Negative $38,486.
Okay, how many dollars does he actually have?
Well, $46.98.
Higgins, that might be less dollars than what he needs to pay off.
That is a lot less dollars than he needs to pay off, but at least he can buy, like, a couple pizzas.
Higgins, in this economy?
Yeah, you're right. 1.5 pizzas.
I would say just a half of a pizza. He has to return the other half to the store. But yeah, all that, it's just not, life's not going his way. So he moves back home, something that, let's not lie, we've probably all had to do at some point in our lives. And
yeah, I've done it a couple times.
me too. So he's back home. And then it goes on to say in the synopses I wrote, for fans of Invincible and the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers comes a brand new ongoing series from acclaimed writer Kyle Higgins, who wrote things like Ultraman and Cal. Cal's an acronym, Higgins. It's C.0.W.L.
Is that like a Batman thing?
Who knows?
Okay.
Also by Image, though. And that's important. Remember Cal Higgins. Remember how to spell it, and remember that I mentioned it, because it's going to come up a little bit here.
Okay.
And he's doing art with Marcello Costa, and they're going to reinvent superheroes for a new generation. Now,
I hope so.
I don't think they are.
No, I mean, this could have been really good.
It could have. And I think that line, which, I'll be honest, Higgins, I didn't come up with that myself. I'm no writer. I'm no Nathan Burnett or whatever his name is. That's on the back of the book.
That's on the back.
So for fans of Invincible, now,
I think someone important said that, right?
the guy who wrote Invincible said that.
The guy that wrote that.
Yeah, and I'm sure that I'm sure they like each other's work, but I haven't read Invincible. I've seen Invincible on Amazon.
That's true. I haven't read it either.
I think that that's a really good story that could and probably has reinvented superhero stuff in a way. And it's got a lot of similarities with this. So, yes, Radiant Black has the potential to do something like that, but to just outright say it doesn't mean it's going to happen. And I don't really think, if this is going to happen, it's not a great start, in my opinion.
It is new superheroes, though.
It's certainly new, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, they got new superheroes and almost no rules so far.
Yeah. I think the issue I had with this, because there is stuff in this to like. Like, I'm going to say some not great things about it, but I think overall there is some potential in it. I just don't think that they should be talking about how great it is and how much potential it is until it actually has something.
Before it takes off. You're on the first couple volumes.
Yeah, and
that's just a blurb though. Just one of their buddies was like, "Yeah, I read that. It was pretty good. I'll say some nice things about it."
Was it bad? I mean, the guy on the cover's flying in the sky. That's cool, isn't it? Yeah,
that is cool. He has powers. My quip: I like the superhero stuff. I just don't know that he knows how to pace a story quite right.
I completely agree. I think the pacing in this is off. I haven't read a ton by Kyle Higgins.
Yeah,
he did the New 52 Nightwing run back when that was a thing. And
was that good?
It's okay.
Okay. I know people like the Batman.
The Batman run is good. We might tackle some of that one day. Who knows? But yeah, the Nightwing stuff wasn't bad. And I don't necessarily hate the ideas that are in this. I think I just don't like the characters and, like you said, the pacing.
Yeah. I just feel like before we even get to find something out about somebody, we're on to the next thing for some reason. We can spoil things in here. It's our podcast. For some reason, our main character is not a part of the last 2 issues because he's in a coma, and someone else gets his superpowers. Not even an interesting character either. Kind of his just shithead friend.
And that's the thing is, I don't even think that idea of, okay, we're going to show you this guy. You think he's going to be the hero, and we're just going to take him out, like completely pull it out from under the rug and bring in a new guy. That kind of stuff's been done before in superhero stuff. So it's not doing anything new, but also it's not doing the same thing as well, because the guy that they gave it to the first time, I don't really like at all. And
he's trying his best.
He's trying his best, but he's a real whiny brat of a 30-year-old man.
Yeah, that's true.
The guy they give it to after, like you said, he's not much better.
He at least has a job, I guess.
He works at a local video store recommending drugs and what movies they pair well with.
Yeah, it's pretty scholarly of him.
I'm here for all that. Honestly, I'd read a comic just about that, just to see what's going on. But Like, we don't even get this guy's last name. His best friend's name is Marshall.
Yeah,
and
Marshall.
After Nathan gets beat up by some other characters we'll mention, it gets tossed over to Marshall because how he gets his powers is it's kind of Green Lantern-esque, I guess, where this little mini black hole just shows up on some railroad tracks and Nathan just happens to be the guy that touches it first.
He reached out his hand and touched it.
That's
How
what you gotta
all
do.
super. If you ever see anything mysterious flying around, just touch it. You might become a superhero. You might die.
You might get cancer, but you know what? We might all get cancer, so you might as well touch that black hole.
But if you die, then like you're like not gonna know what's going on anyways. But if you didn't touch it and you could have got superhero powers,
You look like a real ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and part of me does like that element of it of this guy isn't the best choice. He's just the one that was around.
he just happened to be there. Because I don't know 100% what the backstory of this is, but some bad person is coming, and the computer guy inside the black hole that gives the powers to our main character is like, I just gotta get people to fill these suits so we can fight the big bad.
Yes, yeah, there's this war coming that they keep saying inside his head when he's having weird lucid dreams.
And there's an alphabet.
There's an alphabet, yeah, that's true. It's at the back of the book because there's
And
weird little language in this.
There's like few and far between pieces where it's actually important, and then all the other times it's just like replacing fucking.
Yeah, there is a bit of that censorship, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
And it's like you gave us the key code in the back. The kid's gonna figure out what that says.
it's not very age appropriate, is it, Higgins?
No.
Yeah, it's like I said, the ideas that they kind of mess with, they're there.
It's rated T+, sorry.
Oh, well, no kids should be reading that anyway, in
Yeah,
my
exactly.
opinion. Yeah. Just if you see your kid with this book, burn it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to be safe. But there's not enough here for me. There's not enough new, and they're not doing anything that is better than something else. Like, I don't really... The most interesting thing that happens... Well, there's two interesting things, I guess, is he's not the only one. There's different color suit people that start popping up, and that also introduces the idea that, oh, they don't all just have the same powers
That's
either.
what I really liked.
Yeah, me
like,
too.
it's Power Rangers, but like it actually matters what color you are.
Yes, yeah, it's got a like Voltron, I think, the newer Voltron. Have you ever seen any of
I
that?
haven't seen any of that.
That's a good version of kind of the same thing of where, okay, the yellow lion Voltron is tougher, but the blue one's like feistier or something.
Oh, okay.
So I like that side of it a lot. You can't just run with that when your characters are just this unlikable in a lot of ways. Like the most, I guess, like intimate moments we get with Nathan before he goes into that coma are with his dad, and you can tell there's kind of this
I do like his morning chats when he's stumbling in from the bar and his dad's going on his morning walks.
yeah, and there's this strain there because Nathan's a failed writer, and you can tell his dad was probably saying that a lot of times back when he was at the house, and so he's coming home defeated, and he's just waiting for his dad to tell him, I told you so, and that doesn't happen, and that is a good moment, but nothing else really comes of that, and the moments themselves a lot of times don't feel like real people having a conversation. It's kind of like
Are you really just mad that Kyle Higgins made you read 2 pages of a real book?
I was a little pissed off about that, yeah. I thought I broke my comic app. Yeah, so you have to read his story. That's the thing, too, is like, I don't think Kyle Higgins is the best writer. He's a better writer than I'll ever be, obviously, but I don't think that he writes interactions between characters very well, and then we have to read him pretending to be this character write 2 pages of a novel that it's a lot of work for very little payoff, in my opinion.
2 pages of a novel that's like already made by a failed writer. So maybe he wrote a good 2 pages of a failed novel.
Yeah, and I think also too what threw me off about that whole shtick is the things that happen to the character in that novel that Nathan's writing are similar to what he has been dealing with, because the person in the red suit has been robbing banks, and the person in his story is robbing banks. So I thought, oh, he's using these experiences that, you know, he met the red suit person and fought that person to keep them from robbing the bank. So he's taking that and putting it into his work. He's getting a fresh start. I'm like, that's something. But then it turns out that's from a short story he wrote years ago.
Maybe he's always meant to be a part of the Radiant Black.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I think this book in this universe wants to run before it learns how to walk.
Yeah, I think it doesn't really do the thing that you get with a lot of comics where like the 6 issues in a volume actually like amount to a story.
Yes, you can pick it up and put it down, and while there's obviously still more going on, you feel satisfied with what you read.
Yeah, I feel like I have to read everything else that came out now to even understand what happens in the first like couple.
Now, Higgins, it's funny you mentioned that.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to do that, you're going to have to read a lot more than just Radiant Black. Because it turns out that Radiant Black is the first story of Image's massive verse.
Oh, okay.
Which is an in-universe thing that started with this. And retroactively started with that Cal book I mentioned.
Okay.
So Cal is the first story Kyle Higgins wrote for Image back in 2014, 2015. And then he came and wrote this. Well, shortly after this came out, I guess reception went really well. People seemed to be on board with it. And they announced, hey, guess what? You like this? There's going to be so much more. We're starting the massive verse. It's going to be the new DC. It's going to be the new Marvel everything. And so here's a list of everything that's currently in the massive verse. It's a really dumb name, by the way.
Yeah, it's not good.
So there's Radiant Black, as we know. There's Rogue Sun, The Dead Lucky, Radiant Red, Inferno Girl, No-1, and recently, as of December 2022, Radiant Pink. And then these all come together in a crossover event called Supermassive, which came out last year.
Okay, so I'll come back next episode and have read all of this.
Absolutely, you will have, yeah. But I think when I read that, I found that out just before I came over here. And the reason I bring it up is, like, that's the problem, is DC and Marvel, like, all those universes we have, like,
they happen naturally.
Well, yeah, forget the point that there's already 70, 80 plus years worth of continuity of Batman stories and Superman teaming up with Batman. Like you said, they started out as their own books and naturally kind of came together. Or if they never just, I guess, came out and said, like, this is going to be the next big thing.
We're making a universe, and now we're going to start writing books.
And that's already a problem in movies. Like, I can't tell you how many universes in the last 5 years even have tried and failed to become the next MCU.
The Jurassic Park universe?
The Jurassic Park-averse, the biggest thing that comes to mind is when Tom Cruise did that Mummy movie. And
the Mummyverse?
Yeah, the Mummyverse, and we were going to get, like,
another Scorpion King movie with The Rock? Dwayne The Rock Johnson?
One can dream. I mean, he's too busy doing Black Adam sequels, probably, but also, again, another example. That's not going to happen now. It's that idea of, okay, we're going to make this first thing, and just wait. It's going to be so much bigger. It's going to have all these characters. Like, I'm not even opposed to that idea, but I don't want you to force it on me. I don't want to take the talent and the time that could be spent on one book and just say, don't worry if this isn't great, because you're going to love it when we do the other 10 and you read all those.
Just finish a story.
Yeah, I don't even hate this. Like, I know I sound really negative, and in a lot of ways I am. It's just that approach to it, I think, is what kind of soured the experience for me.
Now let's talk about something that'll make you happy.
Okay, cool. Let's do that.
We're drinking a drink.
We're drinking a drink, yes we are.
And it's pretty good.
This is actually really good, yeah.
It's called the Black Hole Sun. Mm-hmm. Based off of the fact that they get their powers from a black hole.
One of them does.
Yeah.
I guess the others do too.
I think they all touch the thing.
We see a red one get her powers from a black hole. We'll talk more about her. I want to talk about her, but go on.
And so it's basically a old fashioned. And so you start off with a couple ounces of bourbon, a little bit of cold brew, about a half ounce. Mm-hmm.
Not much, but a little.
Half ounce of simple syrup. I'm going off the books and like actually using measurements just because I remember it off the dome like that right now.
New year, new you.
And so I said the simple syrup. And then you add a couple dashes of orange bitters, a dash of Angtarosa bitters, and a liberal dash of chocolate bitters.
Yes, you were able to find those. I'm glad.
And then you cut up a lemon wheel and put it in your drink.
You did a good job on all of that.
So you got to stir the stuff too. Stir it in some ice. And then strain it.
Don't shake it.
Don't shake it.
Just stir it. And Higgins, really good drink, I think.
Yeah, I'm not usually a big fan of just straight like bourbon-y drinks, but we've kind of been doing a lot of like the liquor-based drinks versus like just fruity mixer drinks lately, and I'm not opposed to them.
You're here for it, I think. Yeah. And I mean, that comes with time as your taste develops. Because you're growing up. And
I like smoky flavors now.
Yeah. Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
From Four Roses Bourbon.
You know what else I like about this drink that I didn't think I'd be on board for? Those chocolate bitters.
The chocolate bitters somehow go right with the bourbon.
Yeah, and you know what? I like it because it hits at the very end. Because this is a lot of bitter flavor in it. I mean, you got the coffee alone. So bitter. Just so much bite.
It all works together.
Just to have that little taste of chocolate on the tongue after your sip. And
then the lemon wheel, I think it's doing something in there.
If anything, it's just adding flair.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
That's the sun.
Oh, that is the sun, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Huh. There you go.
We took a picture of it, guys.
Yeah, good pick on this one. You sent this one to me today or yesterday, I think. And I was, a lot of these drinks that you send me, I'm not sure, and they end up being pretty good. This one, though, I was 95% on board after looking at it, and now I'm just 110, Higgins.
I know. Do you want one more while we're in the drink portion? Because I was about to make another one right now.
Yeah, that is one thing about it is it's one of those sip drinks, so we got to be careful, but also we want more. So let's take a quick break to get another drink, and then we'll come back and talk about our sponsor for the episode before we get into the book.
All right. I'm ready.
Do you mean you're ready to talk about the sponsor of this podcast, which would be
Do you mean 008 Studios?
Higgins, you took the words right out of my mouth.
I found it at 0-0-8studios.com.
What else did you find on that site?
They got books.
What kind of book?
They have a book that's already out, and it's called... I'm pointing to Snoop because he always Eternal Crown, Dawning of the Red Sun.
Higgins, I knew you could do it, and that's why I let you sweat a little bit. I just knew you needed the pressure on you. Yes, that is the title of Michael's book. Michael Lopez being the person who runs 008 Studios. Now, you might be wondering, what is that? Why so many numbers? There's a reason for that. I don't exactly remember. But the point is, you got something you want to create, Higgins, like this podcast, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe your EP. Actually, no, strike that. Not your EP, because he doesn't do music.
He doesn't do music.
Yeah. But if there's anything else you want to create in the creative space, you go to Michael, because he helps you find funding. He helps you
find games.
People to help you make the things. He's going to be working on some video games. Higgins, I'm on the site right now. I'm looking at everything there is.
Is there updates? I haven't looked at it since the last episode.
Well, I love the way it's laid out, Higgins. I mean, you got your library, which takes you to all the books that are currently out, and
in the process?
Not in the process, but
I saw timers on there one time.
I can't find it right now, but obviously it's on there somewhere. Yes, he's currently working on a new book that when it comes out, we will. Even before it comes out, we'll talk about it when he tells us things about it.
Yeah, sci-fi, right?
Sci-fi book. He's also working on the sequel to the Eternal Crown, Dawning of the Red Sun.
Yeah,
that's exciting. I really liked the first one when we read it. And there's a little arcade section.
You know what we call these books that he's coming out with?
What was he calling?
You know what he could call them?
What could he call them?
Either the Michael verse or the Lopez verse.
Yeah. But Higgins, he doesn't have to do that because it's naturally going to grow on its own. Unlike another story we're talking about today.
We've never done that before, working in our regular stuff, podcast stuff, in with our ads. It almost makes people want to listen to ads.
Yeah, I'd like to think that's what we're providing a service in and of itself. Yeah. And you can get prints on there. He's got 3 prints. I see it here. Breathe. A second one I can't pronounce. And then one that says, I have loved the stars. Now, I take a little bit of umbrage with that because I currently love the stars. But, maybe that changes. I don't know.
Maybe one day down the road, you can get that print because you no longer love the stars.
Fuck, Higgins, there's only one left. I might have to go ahead and get it now. I don't know.
Put it in the bank for later.
Yeah, it's a really good print though, and there's a bunch of other good stuff on here. Swag, for example, Higgins, you can get a big T-shirt, one that you can just wear, no pants.
No pants, Winnie the Pooh it.
Yeah, shirt cocking it all day. But you go to that website, you type in 0-0-8studios.com, or there is a link to that website down below in the podcast description of this episode and all previous episodes to a point. Maybe they're all in there. I don't know. But the point is you look down here right now. It's right there. You go there. You buy some stuff or you contact Michael if you want to make some stuff. He helps you with that.
Yeah, he likes that.
He likes it. We love it. We want to see all your stuff. So please, you got questions. He's got answers. Hit him up. I I think that's everything for right now. Obviously, there's always going to be more to talk about in the pipeline.
I think that's all we got for him for right now.
Yeah, we'll take a break.
I'm ready to read his books. I want to know what happens in the second one.
I mean, I'm ready to read his new book so I can stop reading his current book.
I like sci-fi.
I do like sci-fi, yeah, as well, yeah. And I like Michael's writing. Well, if you want to know more about kind of his style of writing, we've got an episode with him from before. I don't remember. It's recent-ish. We talk all about his first book and kind of what we got from that and how he approached it. Just I found it really interesting because I never talked to a writer and kind of how they go into that process before.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I probably never will, but if I want to, I know I can go to Michael for that kind of thing. But for right now, I'm going to go to you for more podcasting stuff.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Red?
Yes.
Or do you want to talk more about Blue's powers first?
Is he blue or black? How many we got in here?
Well, he's
radiant black,
but he's a little blue.
He's a little sad, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, and color-wise.
Oh, yeah, his powers are blue. They do mention that. One other thing, I'm going to stop after this one, I think, but I think one other thing I didn't really like about the story, it tries really hard to relate to what's going on in the current climate timeline.
Yeah.
I never have to read another book ever where they mention Twitter. I don't care and I don't want it.
Yeah.
I just don't like that.
A lot of the good stuff go in the before times so you don't have to worry about cell phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing I hate more in a movie than when the text message comes on the screen and it's like, I already have bad eyes. So sometimes I'll be watching a movie in bed without my glasses because my eyesight's not that bad. But then a text message will go across the screen and I missed it because I couldn't read the words.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't see that good.
Yeah. It's even worse when you're in the theater because you have to walk up to the projectionist and ask them to rewind the movie.
Yeah, can you guys roll that back? I didn't. It was too fast.
It is too fast most of the time. You can't keep up. Yeah, I didn't like that. I don't like the main character at all. I like the side character a little more, but not much more. One thing I do like, though, is the design of these costumes. I do find them pretty good, I think.
Yeah, no, they look sharp. Yeah. I mean, it is very Power Rangers-esque, but space Power Rangers.
Yes, and I think, because normally when we talk about books we've read, there is a separate colorist, but in the case of this one, Marcello Costa did both the art and the colors. So I guess having done that and also I guess doing it on Power Rangers, he has a good idea of kind of what works for that aesthetic, having those simple basic designs with colors that just pop on the page. And so you get a lot of that in this. I like the simplicity of the design. As we've kind of already talked about, my issue with the overall story and the massive verse is it tries too hard, I think, to be an iconic and memorable story. But I think one thing people will take from this years down the line, if they hear about it and read it, is those costumes look good. And I think it's just because obviously there was thought put into them, but it wasn't, hey, look at how great this costume is all the time. It's just, here's a really classic kind of design. It'll probably stick around in your head.
Yeah, and black complements everything. So
yes, and also like the Power Rangers, I like that you have the one kind of constant color, which I guess in this case is black.
It's black and white.
Yeah. Well, you also have Radiant Red, who is the, I guess, kind of villain in this particular volume.
But not
she has
really.
red and black, and she's a she.
She's more of an anti-hero, I think.
Yeah. How'd you
as we find out?
Yeah. How'd you find the reveal that it's a lady?
I am not gonna lie. I saw when he was fighting her, and you saw a bit of face.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that kind of looks like a lady face.
A very feminine face, yeah.
And so I was a little less surprised, I think. Did someone knock?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No. Everyone listen, hold on. Did anyone hear anyone else knock?
Maybe it was the fridge.
No one said yes, so I think we're good to continue. Yes, that is kind of the first giveaway that the person he's been fighting and who's been robbing the banks is in fact a lady person. But I think what I enjoyed about that is the reveal itself plays into how some of the power systems work. So we know very early on that the Radiant Black powers are gravity-based. He can float things, shoot some lasers, pretty basic stuff. But it turns out that Radiant Red has a different set of powers.
She absorbs stuff.
She can absorb things and, I guess, transmute it in a way.
Yeah.
Basically turns anything she absorbs into, a lot of times, armor or weapons even.
Yeah, she has like the base powers are the same, but I think he can like shoot the lasers, and she's got like he said, she can like absorb some brick, and now she has it on their feet or something like that.
Yeah, she can make a big fist, and I like that because we only find out about this character's past in, I guess, the last issue of this volume. It seems that she's in a bad relationship, an abusive relationship where he is gambling and all their money away, and it's one of those things that he doesn't trick her into staying, but he kind of guilts her into, like, this is your fault. You gave me access to your account. How dare you? Like, it's just a real piece of crap guy. And unfortunately, a lot of times people kind of, when they're in those relationships, they just let it happen. And so she stumbles upon her black hole power thing and decides she's going to rob banks to pay off their debt. And I like that she takes those powers and uses it to disguise her form as a woman, basically.
Oh, yeah.
And because when it's revealed that she is a woman, you see the change in the form. It's more feminine features. But I thought, did I just not notice that when they fought the first time? No, she has a build like a man because that's what she did with those powers, and that's how she disguises herself. I thought that was clever, and I think that's kind of the new generation of superhero stuff. I think that's the closest they get to that attempt is maybe something like that's been done before, but I thought it was a clever and fun use of a power like that.
Yeah, and at least she tries to hide it. I don't know how so many people find out about his face so soon. I don't know how she knows who he is for the first part.
I don't know if she...
Because when she's in the red suit before she gets revealed, she's like, I know who you are, Nathan.
She did find... You're right. I forgot about that. She did figure out where he lived and everything. Yeah. I guess the title of the volume isn't inaccurate because it is called Not So Secret Origin, because the three people who immediately know he has powers are his friend who eventually gets the suit, but also the two cops that were on the railroad tracks when they were, messing around with the black hole thing.
And then he has a Twitter.
Again.
But I don't think like the Twitter like exposes him to the world, so I don't know.
No, it doesn't seem like
maybe it was a little like, what's it called? They put the curtain over the thing, and like you're like, oh, you think he's ruined his like super secret identity, but then it's going to be this guy this whole time, so it doesn't matter that his cover was blown this entire time.
Well, Higgins, I can't wait for you to reveal exactly if that happens when you read the rest of the Massive Verse stuff.
I need to find a reading order.
It's going to be a lot, let me tell you.
There's only 20 episodes. There's only 20 issues in this, so like that's not like ridiculous.
Well, Higgins, you're also forgetting about all the spin-offs and limited series, and of course the web series starring Will Friedle.
Is that's
a thing? Apparently, I don't know.
With like a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and it's got, like I said, it's got Will Friedle. You know who that is, right?
He does he's a lot of voice actors, and like Eric from Boy Meets World.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. So
Ron Stoppable.
It's Ron Stoppable.
I know.
Make sure you get to all of that, of course.
All right.
And you got to read Cal, which was retroactively made.
Do I need to read that first?
Higgins,
I'll find the reading order online.
I was about to say, you'll tell me one day. Yeah. But anyway, I kind of like the exploration of the motivations of that character, the Radiant Red character, because it's just a character I can get behind. Like, the thing about Nathan that I don't like is that he's kind of an asshole to everybody, and a lot of times people are just trying to help him out. Like, his parents are his parents, so he's going to have some kind of disagreements with them and everything, but they're letting him live there for free, and he's just moping around, and his dad's like, hey, why don't you, for the time being, while you're writing, get a job? And he's just like, I can't get a job, I have to write. It's like, dude, just get a job. And so it's that kind of stuff. So Marshall's not much better. I don't really think that a lot of his motivations when he gets the suit are quite there. Like, he's mad that his friend got put into a coma, but Radiant Red is the only character in this that I can kind of get behind, and I guess you'll get behind when you read her series. And it teases us with more to come in the following volumes because 2 more different color people show up. We don't really get a sense of what their powers are, but we do see that their suits are different, and that's pretty cool, I guess.
And one guy's old.
Oh, yeah, one guy is older. I forgot about that, yeah.
They're like, man, you're old.
They do say he's old, yeah. So I don't know. There's some ideas in here that are worth exploring, I guess, but I just don't know if I can go through the fluff in between.
Well, it's just kind of, that part's kind of neat because it sounds like Yellow and Pink have had their powers for like at least a good bit longer than
maybe
Red,
the other two. Yeah.
Than Red, and Red has had her powers longer than Blue. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, and you kind of mentioned already. I like the idea of these are just people who stumbled upon this.
Black, I guess,
and
not Blue.
It should be Blue though.
Yeah,
but there's probably another Blue, like an actual
blue.
like
an actual Blue.
So they can't call him that. Yeah. Figure if anything, they call him Radiant White, but
yeah,
I don't want to get political.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I like this idea of these are just people who stumbled upon this, and there's a bigger threat out there, and the ones giving away these powers don't care about these people. They just need bodies in those suits, like you said. So there is stuff in that, but I don't know if they're going to be able to kind of capitalize on any of it. So I don't think that unless we read another volume or another story in the Massive Verse for this podcast, I can't see myself personally going through any more of this for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, I bought the second book, so I'm gonna at least read that.
Yeah.
But I don't think we need to do it anymore on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, and let me know if you read that second volume and you're like, this is a whole lot better. I would like to maybe come back and talk about it then if it is a lot better. It's just kind of a clunky first volume, unfortunately, and I wish it were better because there are things in here that I can get behind, but I don't know, it's just not for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's. Really,
I think that's it.
Yeah, I don't really have much more to say. I've said a lot of negative things, and I feel a little bad, but
yeah, at least it looks pretty though.
It does look good. I think the art's pretty solid. I think the colors are there. Letter's pretty good, I guess. I didn't notice anything off about them. They made that alphabet.
I really liked it when they were drunk and then the letters were all wonkety.
Oh yeah,
in the bubble. That was pretty good.
That is fun. I like that. Yeah. Then there's this kind of glimpses of a little more kind of creative thinking going on in a tropey story. But that's all I'll say. Higgins, I want you to give me a review, and then I'll give a review, and then we'll move on.
Alrighty, I will. That's a great question.
Take your time.
I'm gonna give this something that resembles a 6 out of 10, and then say a supermassive black hole.
I don't know if that's good or bad. Maybe it's just kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. That's fair. My review's probably a little poorer. I'm going to find the nearest black hole on some train tracks and scream into it so no one can see how sad I am after having read this, which would roughly, I guess, equate to
like a 5.5.
I would say maybe a 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Not like a 4 out of 10, just a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
It really could, couldn't it? Yeah.
Could go either way.
Yeah. And if Kyle Higgins is listening to this, don't take it personally.
We're going to read the next one.
Higgins is going to read all of your work. He loves it.
Banana readings for Squared.
Higgins, did you hear that?
Squares?
That actually was a knock at the door.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know, maybe. But more importantly, Higgins, that theme music is what I heard, which means it's time for readings for Squares. It's a segment, Higgins, as you know, where we talk about something we've been doing, watching, playing. It can't be a book. It can't be a book. Yeah. If it is a book, if I catch you trying to sneak a book around me, I'm going to throw you out that window.
I think I haven't came up with a theme song for if I do a book.
We'll
figure it out.
Yeah, you've threatened it plenty of times, but so far nothing. So.
Banana.
What have you been checking out? What have you been up to?
So I started watching this show on Netflix called Kaleidoscope that I think a bunch of people probably are watching, or if you haven't heard of it, it's a heist show that's pretty good. It's got
Gus from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Giancarlo
Esposito. That's exactly right.
Charlie's here. Hey, Charlie.
And what's neat about this show is besides watching the White episode as the last episode, you can watch any of the other episodes in any order and the story will still make sense.
That's right. Yeah, every episode's a color or something, right? So it's like you can watch episode 1, which is green, but you don't have to. You can go to episode 4, which is red, and it all makes sense or something. Did you watch these kind of in your own order, or did you just go straight down the line?
I have not finished it yet.
Okay.
But From what I heard is like you start the show and then it gives each new listener a different like order just by itself.
Oh, I see.
Because
Okay.
like I was talking to my buddy and he said that he got the green episode first. He was the one, my buddy Heath. I don't think he listens, but if he does, then his name's out there now. He was telling me he got the green episode first, and then when I started it, I got the yellow episode first.
Really?
Just right off rip. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I think that's I didn't know that because I think when I watched so one episode that is just a trailer basically is
Yeah.
black. That one's the same for everybody, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But after that, it automatically went to I think orange for me.
Yeah. So that was like the third episode I watched.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's cool. I did not know that. I knew kind of the gimmick of you can watch it in any order and it still makes sense, different perspectives or whatever. So I knew kind of that, but I didn't know it actually set it up randomly for each account.
Each account basically.
That is interesting. I do like that, and I like the idea of kind of. I like a heist anything. I find them very fun,
yeah.
but I like this idea of kind of because a lot of times in heist movies, the way they play with the editing is like you might see a thing, but then it turns out they did a different thing, and they'll show you later in a different shot. So
Yeah.
they already
And now
were.
I haven't finished it yet, so no spoilies.
I haven't even watched an episode besides that trailer. So, but I like that they're taking that element of previous heist movies and just playing with that formula. I think that is kind of a fun idea.
It's a lot of good episodes. What makes it easy for him to do it that way is like each episode is set at a different time period before the heist. Like it might be years, it might be weeks, it might be days. But
Okay. So you've seen how many episodes have you seen roughly?
I've watched 4,
Okay.
and then 2 of them happened within like a couple months of the heist, and then like 2 of them happened within an amount of years before the heist. I don't want
Oh.
to say anything
okay.
really more than that because, before or after, might give something up.
That's what I was going to ask is do they show you a little bit of the actual heist in each episode and you kind of piece it together that way?
Oh,
or-
no. It's just all before time stuff
Oh.
from what I've seen so far.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm excited to get into it. I'm actually I'm about to catch up on a show I've been watching with my girlfriend. She's the one who told me about it, and we've been going through it together. It's called Working Moms or Workin' Moms.
I haven't seen that.
You can watch that on Netflix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you want to watch them in the order that they're presented. It's not the same thing.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if this whole kaleidoscope experience has ruined that idea for you of just going in order. You might be past it now. I don't know. But if you're interested, I think it's a really good show. There's 6 seasons out on Netflix right now. I think the last season started this year, so I'll watch that whenever it comes out. But really good. It's basically it's created by Catherine Reitman, who is one of the main characters in it. Catherine Reitman is the daughter of Ivan Reitman, who made Ghostbusters and Stripes, like classic
Okay.
80s stuff.
Yeah.
Her brother's Jason Reitman, who did the newest Ghostbusters movie. Just it's one of those families that they just make things.
They just do things
Yeah.
and make content.
And this one's more of a personal kind of story for her because it's about being a mom.
Oh, she's a working mom?
She's a working mom. Yes, and so a lot of the kind of there's 4 to 5 main characters in the first season, and it kind of jumps around, and it just shows different aspects of okay, this one is a psychiatrist, and she has a 13-year-old daughter, so she's dealing with 13-year-old daughter parenting problems. But then, like Catherine Reitman's character just had her first kid, and so she's kind of struggling with I want to move up in my industry, but also I want to be around to watch my kid take his first steps and stuff like that. So it has those kind of more deeper emotional moments, but also it's just really funny.
Okay, I was going to ask if it was like a sitcom.
It's not mockumentary style. It's not like a Parks and Rec or whatever.
Okay.
But it kind of has that. It kind of has that dry humor where just ridiculous things happen.
I got you.
They have a lot of in the first season, especially, kind of their cold opens. Or they have this Mommy and Me group where they just meet up with different moms and they
Okay.
compare their parenting styles.
Maybe Superstore?
Yeah. That's actually a good. Yeah, I would say it's similar to that. Yeah.
Okay.
Just there is bigger storylines that kind of carry over, but a lot of it is like, all right, let's jump over to this character and see what they're up to right now.
Okay.
Really, really fun. I think.
It's about 30 minutes long.
Yeah. 20-minute episodes.
That's
I
perfect.
think the longest seasons are usually 13 episodes each.
That's perfect.
Yeah,
I need a new 30-minute show that I haven't seen before.
Higgins, this is perfect.
I just started Scrubs and New Girl over again for however many times.
Higgins, you watched Scrubs like 8 times already, man.
Well, it's a good sleeping show.
It is. This could probably work in that realm. I mean, like, for you, it'd be perfect to watch one episode and then fall asleep right when the second one's starting, and then you go back and catch up. Yeah.
And I have my Netflix set to where it doesn't go to the next episode unless I click the button. So
you can do that?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't fall asleep through episodes anymore.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they thought of you when they made that design. Yeah. I think you would enjoy it. I think a lot of people would enjoy it. I didn't know about it until Brittany told me about it. It's a Canadian show. So if you like those Canadians, there's some stuff in there. They talk about aqua or whatever they call water.
Oh, yeah?
Hydro. That's what it is. Hydro. Yeah.
Petrol.
They're delightful. Also, you get a little aspect into kind of the husbands' lives, and there's some good stuff and some bad stuff. I can't really recommend it enough. I think it's very enjoyable.
That sounds really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I could say one more thing, or I can just call it off. That's up to you.
Maybe just call this one. I think
that's fine.
I'll
save one in the tank.
Yeah, because we've got a couple other things to do to clean up, and I have a book for us to talk about.
Oh yeah, do you want to do that first, and then we'll clean up?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we're gonna talk about a book I've been wanting to read, and I forgot I wanted to read it until I heard about it on a podcast today. We're gonna read Fables, Higgins.
Fables.
Are you familiar with a Telltale Games? They did the Walking Dead game.
I know those people.
Okay, so they did a game back in the day called Wolf Among Us. And
yeah, I know that.
It's like the wolf from the Three Little Pigs, but he's a detective, and he's solving fairy tale crimes. That's based on this book.
Okay.
And the sequel is coming out this year. So I don't know, I just thought it'd be a good time to maybe get into that. I've heard it's really good.
Once upon a time.
Yes.
In a fictional land called New York City.
What crazy tales are going to happen in there, you think? Yeah. Yes, so we're going to read Fables. I'm pretty excited. I've heard good things, and that game that I played a little bit of was really good. So if it's anything like that, we're going to be in for a good time, Higgins.
Oh, yeah.
But for right now, let's clean up the shop. Just grab that broom, tell people some things, and then we'll head out.
All right. You can find us at a couple of things, and we would love for you to talk to us. You can find me on the Twitter at Mike Higgins 93. For as long as Twitter is still around. And you can find me also on Instagram at jsturm93. And you can find Snoop at Instagram at Snoop_Lynch.
It's true. I almost lost my Instagram. Got hacked. I don't want to talk about it.
And, oh, wow. It's fine.
It's fine. I got it back
to everybody. He
just seems so convincing.
Yeah.
He's like, here, just let me borrow your credit card to get the door open. I'm like, all right.
I get it.
A piece of paper would be too flimsy, so yeah, credit card makes sense. Just can't trust anybody on the internet, Higgins, except us.
And if he did lose it, then you could still find him at our email, which is the Comixology Club at 0-0-8studios.com.
Higgins, you got that? You didn't even skip a beat.
Yeah. And I remembered that it wasn't at Gmail.
Higgins, don't worry. If you can't remember it, it's fine, because I'm going to take that and I'm going to put a link to it in the podcast description.
That's perfect, because those are a lot of some people might not remember all those letters and words and symbols.
It took you at least a year to remember the first part. Yeah. And I don't blame you. It's tough.
And we did not have a review. That's on you guys. We could have said a few more words for this episode, but I guess you guys wanted a short one this time.
Maybe they're holding out,
Yeah, for a really long episode.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to start the year out with a review.
Oh, they're just waiting for our 4-year anniversary.
Oh, that's a good point. They're going to send us birthday wishes.
Oh, man.
Give us 5 stars to blow out on the cake.
I guess I'll know who my real friends are when that episode finally gets here. But yeah, we would love...
The next podcast is just going to be an hour of you crying because no one sent you a review.
But we would love to hear from you. We would love for you to tell us something else to read that you want us to read. It can be bad. It can be good. This is one of 3 books that we've read that has been a generally bad review on it.
That's true. We usually get a lot of winners, but such is life. I'm hoping that from here on out, this year, we're just sky's the limit.
Yeah, sky's the limit. We're starting off strong. And then yeah, let's say leave us a review. Hopefully 5 stars on the rating. You can do that. I think you can do the rating on pretty much everything, but you can only do the review on Apple Podcasts.
That's the best place to do it because that's where we're going to look and read any reviews that are up there. Yeah. So
I saw we were on Audible because they do podcasts. That's cool.
I didn't know they did podcasts now. I thought they just did audiobooks.
No, they got podcasts now, and we're on it.
It means maybe we can get to the audiobook community.
Oh, baby.
Start practicing my audiobook voice.
Do you think I sound like David Attenborough?
I'd ask you to put a little bit of like a accent on that, but I really don't want to subject anyone to it. So yes, you sound like David Attenborough.
Perfect.
Stop while you're ahead. And let us go for one more month. Welcome back, everyone, and hope you enjoy the start of your 2023. And until next time, I'll say cheers, guys. That's what I say. Higgins would love to say.
And I'm just going to describe all of the symbols from the back of the book so you guys know what the alphabet is for the book if you don't have it. So A is like, it's kind of like kind of like a bullet, but like, if it was facing right, it's not doing that. It's facing left. And then for B, it's